Welcome to this video where I'm going to be looking at two of the most iconic watches of the mid-2000s. Both these watches are now out of production, so I think at this stage they're worth devoting a video to. So obviously on the left you have the Casio Pathfinder, and on the right you have the Citizen Navihawk. So this was an aviator watch, the Citizen watch that came with a slide rule, which still works. It has radio control, which means it would get a radio signal so that your time was synchronized with an atomic clock. The same goes with the Casio. As you can see, this has already received the time, so the time is accurate. They're both solar powered watches. The Citizen is the Eco Drive, where you have the solar cell is on the dial itself. In case of the Casio, there's a ring around the bezel where you can see where the solar cell is located. The Pathfinder was this range that Casio came out with, which almost was their idea of making the G-Shock watches more premium. So the Pathfinder's range would have, this particular was the ABC watch with the altimeter, the barometer, and the compass. And then it was solar powered, which goes with the tough solar designation that they had. This is a full titanium watch. So it has a titanium strap, it has a titanium case, then it had a PVD coating which made it black, and then it had the display was the negative display. It's kind of easy to read under the light, but in real life it's a little harder to read. But this was very fashionable in the 2000s, was to have these blacked out displays on blacked out watches. The Citizen, on the other hand, this did also come in a titanium model, but this one's the stainless steel model. Unlike the Casio, which has a mineral glass crystal, this also has a mineral glass crystal. They never put they only put sapphire on the Japanese market watches in order to cut costs. They had a mineral glass crystal, but this is actually a domed crystal. So it collects lots of scratches, even though my particular model watch has a pretty bad scratch at the 11 o'clock mark. I mean, these watches do get abused. They have similar functions, similar functions and features. The Casio obviously has, the trick is the fact that it has a barometer. It tells you how over the last 24 hours, whether pressure has been rising or dropping. It has the compass, and it also has the altimeter, which is a pretty useless feature if you ask me. This, on the other hand, comes with the chronometer, comes with the world time, has multiple alarms. If you want to use the slide rule, but really, digital calculators were invented so that you didn't have to use a slide rule. So I'm not really going to explain to you how the slide rule works. The most useful thing about this watch is the fact that it has a digital display. The integration of the digital display with the analog dial was a very, very smart move on part of Citizen, which meant the display on the left told you which time zone you were in, and I could have world time on the other side. The dials obviously have the aviation theme. There's the UTC dial, so that you have at least one constant clock, and then there's another 24-hour clock, pretty useless. And then that's about it. There's really nothing else to this. But anyway, both of these obviously have solid links. They are very, very premium watches. These were not cheap watches when they came into the market. And the nice thing is they don't make these anymore. So if you can get these on eBay, just buy them, because this watch on my left is just waiting to be a classic when the next generation of watches comes out. This is really the first of those ABC watches, and probably the last, because nowadays nobody really uses ABC watches. And this is from a time in the 2000s when you would put as much information as you could on the dial without having any sense whether it was it was too cluttered. So in the 2000s, you had these really cluttered dials, and this is a great example of it. The Seiko Flight Master is another example of an extremely cluttered watch. I don't know which pilot would use this, because you wouldn't be able to fly your plane if you're trying to read what's on the dial. But this really are for desk pilots or people who would use Microsoft Flight Simulator pretending that they're flying a plane. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please be sure to hit like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you on another video.